flowers and trees.
Flowers and trees. Okay, so Charlie really needs some help here. So
Can I just give a bit of backstory?
Go on.
Thanks. I was climbing a tree earlier, and I thought, I wonder what tree this is. I wondered that for a little bit, and then I realised I didn't want to know what kind of tree it was. And I don't want to know what all the different flowers are. I enjoy trees, and I enjoy flowers. I enjoy smelling them, I enjoy climbing them, I enjoy picking them to an extent. I enjoy looking at them. I enjoy them as a whole, but I don't like to give things labels. I don't want to judge it by its name. Not that I would. I don't want to know what it is, because it doesn't bother me what kind of tree it is. It just bothers me that it's a lovely thing.
But it's useful to know what kind of tree it is.
Why?
Because if you know what type of tree it is, then you know what mushrooms are around it, and therefore whether you're likely to find mushrooms there.
Yeah, then you just learn your mushrooms better.
But you have to identify the tree to find the mushroom.
No, you don't. I disagree with that.
It's very helpful.
You remember the Michelin I Spy books?
Yeah.
They're full of the mushrooms. They've got all the mushrooms, not related to trees.
Yeah, no, but it's completely random what you're going to find in that forest. So if you saw, for example, on a map, it said this is a birch forest, you would know what specific mushrooms you could find in there. But if you didn't know what a birch was or could identify one, then you wouldn't know the relation between that and the mushrooms that you get there, and therefore you turn up and it might be a completely wasted journey when you could have been watching Coronation Street.
Why would you do that?
Because those are your two options in October.
Halloween's in October.
Yeah, but that's at the end of the month. What else can you do in October?
There's Oktoberfest in Germany.
All right, so there's maybe 2, 3.
Yeah, but Halloween's in America.
Other options.
Oktoberfest is in Germany. What can you do in England in America? No.
What can you do in England in America?
October. What can you do in England in October?
In England, in America, you could.
Well, the first thing is whatever you want within the law.
That's true.
That's not specific though. That's very vague.
Anyway, I think we've got off on a tangent. So
if you know what different mushrooms look like, if you know that they are edible, pick them, cook them, eat them, or eat them raw. If you think they're poisonous, or if there's any doubt, don't pick them, don't touch them, don't eat them. Make sure other people don't pick them, don't touch them or eat them. If you're with children, warn them of the dangers of deadly nightshades and stink caps and all that.
And false angels
and all the bad ones.
Yeah.
If you accidentally touch one, don't touch your eyes with it. Just wash your hands straight away. If you're in a forest, go to a nearest brook or creek or stream and wash your hands in it. Unless there's a dead sheep up the way.
There's a lot of hazards out there, isn't there? There's a lot of hazards out in
I was a kid
in the
countryside. In the countryside, and it's fine. Just don't touch the wrong.
So
they can kill you.
So Charlie managed to get through many countryside experiences, and he's still here today. So don't not go to the countryside just because of these horrible threats out there.
I once went on a bike ride on my own, and I needed to stop for the toilet. I was probably about 9, and there wasn't anything to wipe my bottom with, and I found a old bag, a bin bag full of porn, just porno mags and the backs of newspapers and stuff, the backs of the dirty newspapers, just full of porn. And I never seen.
How old were you?
Probably about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And I knew that my brother was into that. I kind of knew because I told him about it, and he wanted to come back, and I swear I'm sure he picks them up, just to take back to his bedroom. It was like got slugs on and wood lice and stuff. It was dirty. It was just dirty in the
dirty,
images.
Filthy porn.
No, I don't think it was like poo porn or animal porn, but it was dirty, literally covered in mud porn.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, I did a poo and then went home.
And did you use the?
I wiped with my box. I didn't wear boxers when I was 9. Who wore boxers when they were 9?
I did.
Oh, really?
What did you wear?
Pants, white fronts.
I think I wore
tighty
boxers.
whities. Well, they were different colours. I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pants. And they weren't boxers, and there was no way I was going to ditch them for boxers. And I didn't really sweat when I was 9, so I just wore the same pair every day, unless I needed a poo and didn't wipe myself properly. Then they got a bit skiddy, so I changed them. And I washed them, not myself. I think I had 5 different pairs of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
So the moral of the story is, I mean, this is getting into thought for the day territory, but what did you learn from this experience?
Don't pick up porn in woods. Take toilet roll with you.
Nice.
Toilet.
Nice. I've got a story I could share from my childhood that has stayed with me throughout my life.
Is it countryside safety?
It's not No, but it's highway code safety.
Okay.
It's not a car crash. But, right, so, okay, I'll paint the picture. So, where I grew up was a place called New Mills, famous for swizzle sweets, and that's about it. And it's on the outskirts of the Peak District, lovely part of the country, overlooking Manchester.
Would you not rather be in Manchester looking at the Peak District?
No.
Really?
No, well, you can turn the other way and look at the rest of the Peak District. It depends which hill you choose to look out over. Anyway, so basically what I'm trying to paint a picture of is that there's a lot of hills around. I grew up on great big hills. So coming to living in Oxford, it's a bit of a letdown, really. There's no hills around here and nowhere to go sledging. But anyway, so I was about 7, 8 years old, and I had a little bike that was called a budgie. Sadly, they went out of style, but a budgie is essentially a little mini mountain bikes when mountain bikes hadn't really properly been invented. But they were light enough that you could do massive jumps off and so forth, and bunny hops and the like, which were very much the craze at the time, following on from E.T. and other biking films. So
BMX Bandits?
BMX Bandits, but that was more BMXs. But yeah, there was a big craze of bikes. Anyway, so I got around my little estate on my bike, on my budgie, and it was a little red budgie. And one particular afternoon, I decided to going down and see my mates. All my mates were on the street below where I was, and so I got some snacks from the cupboard. Probably pinched them, can't remember. And I was cycling down the hill to go to the road below. And cycling down this hill, I kind of noticed that the gravel on the estate had been redone recently. It was quite gravelly, and what this did has had quite an impact on my steering. It also had an impact on what I was carrying. So on my right hand, I had the handlebar. On my left hand, I had a crunchie bar, and I was holding the crunchie bar, and I was rattling down this steep hill to go and see my mates. I was really excited to see my mates, and the crunchie bar was gradually coming out of its wrapper. And it was causing me quite a bit of concern. So I was kind of staring at this, going down the hill, and I was like, "Oh, my crunchy bar! I can't lose my crunchy bar. If it goes on the floor, I can't eat it. So I need to grab my crunchy bar." So with my right hand, I took my hand off handlebar and grabbed my crunchy bar before it fell out of its wrapper. What happened next was, just to paint a picture from the other point of view of all my mates, they were all hanging out outside the ice cream van that had just turned up. Probably why I was so excited to get down there as soon as I could. I probably heard the ice cream van making a noise coming around the estate. And so there's about 10 of my mates who were all hanging around the ice cream van getting their 99s and stuff. And what were those ones with the gobstopper at the bottom? Screwballs. They were my favourite, screwballs, more than likely. And they kind of turned round to see me flying round the corner and skidding across probably about 10 metres of pavement and concrete and landing in a bush. And they came hurtling over with their ice creams dribbling down the mouths and came up to me. And I was pretty much scratched or scraped or cut all down one side of my body, including behind my ears. I don't even know how that happened.
That's child abuse territory. Sorry.
It's not child abuse because I did it myself.
People would have wondered.
So anyway, so they kind of picked me up. I was quite a mess and probably quite teary, and they dragged me back home to my mum. And she was quite in a state, but when she'd kind of mopped all the blood away, there was, it was only scrapes and scratches and stuff like that. It wasn't anything too serious, and so it was fine. But the moral of the story is that, and I still to this day do this, when I'm cycling along and there's something else that's distracting me, I always focus on the cycling. So there's a shit moral to the story.
Well, it's an important moral. It's a safe moral. What happened to the crunchy bar?
I'm not saying that everyone... Well, what happened to the crunchy bar? Yeah. It ended up in a bush.
So it never got eaten?
I never got eaten. No, there's more... You've got to prioritise. Maybe that's my moral of the story.
Have you ever been back to the scene?
To find my crunchy bar.
Find your crunchy bar.
There's a good chance it's not going to be there anymore.
I would love to see what you looked like as a kid.
I've got photos I can show you.
I'd love to see that because I just can't see it. I imagine exactly what you look now, just a smaller body.
Yeah, I had a beard, I had a big beard, glasses. I was going quite bald at that point. And I had a much stronger northern accent, which has sadly been diluted.
That is really sad.
But I was probably like, "Hey up, mister. You got any screwballs?"
How much are they? Tuppence.
That's a good story. There you go.
That is a good story.
Thanks very much. Right, Charlie's just got in the kitchen and he's clearing up, which is very kind of him. There you go. There's one. You missed it.
I'll do washing up later.
Put the kettle on.